Hey folks, you see the guys are ready to go. 72 pitch here at Lanes Raceway, about to get underway. Let's just go to the high banks right now, a little down, dirty, and low. We can see Bruce Bullington there on red lane, Jay Latham on white, Glenn Burden on green, Nathaniel Burden on orange, Gunnar Vinder on blue, and Randy Kirtley on yellow. 2-minute heats, 8 round robin rotation, so everybody gets a taste of each lane. 3 strikes, you're out. Everybody's biting at the bit, I can tell. Looks like we're missing one racer. Whenever they get back, we will get this thing underway. Don't forget, coming up simultaneously while we're running this, we also have the rookie GRC. Only got 3 guys and gals running this week, so they're going to be excited to get podium for sure. So we see my wife starting their race right now. This race will be run simultaneously with the 72 pitch stuff that we're rolling right now. And of course, in the rookie series, you guys know that first place gets to bring home a pretty nice little prize for themselves, whatever they're probably going to need whenever they move up to the Pro Series. Is usually how I do the gifts. We don't actually put a monetary value on it, but it's usually pretty substantial. See Glenn Burden there, he's rolling around. I think we're about to get the Pro Series rolling here. Racers, are you ready? Watch your lights. These guys by now know the deal. 3 strikes, you're out. 72 pitch, a little bit smoother of a race, a little bit better handling cars than the Indy cars. The back ends don't get peeled out as much, which in turn sometimes can be pretty drastic when it comes to guys who's trying to push them a little bit harder than they should. But then in other times, you know, they don't push them quite as hard, so that ends up being pretty good. See my wife reaching up underneath the bridge there, grabbing a car. First wreck of the evening here, 10 seconds into the heat. That's going to be a strike there on Gunnar Vinder, his first. 4 red lights dropping out. Kind of hear the squeal of the FCRs next to me here. In our rookie class, that's FCR, GRC. I've been calling them FCR my whole life, but now they're called GRC, Great Racing Chassis. Still made by Parma. Roger Schmidt there in Chicago, Mid-America, of course, makes those. Randy Kirtley currently out in the lead, 7 laps. Glenn Burden right there with him, same amount of laps all the way down to the bottom there. Bruce Bullington there, of course, 1 lap down from the other guys. See how these things change out, but very smooth, these 72 pitches. They get up to speed just as good, but it almost like gives them a better break because they got a bigger spur gear there in the back. So I think the best of both worlds. Now, the only issue that I have with the 72 pitch, of course, is if you don't get them set just perfect, they tend to strip sometimes. But if you use good high-quality parts with the 72 pitch, it is better than the 64 pitch stuff by far. As you can kind of tell here, we just got done running a 64 pitch setup with the cars, and you know they wreck quite a bit more. As we see a car coming off here, a silver car coming off. And looks like another car coming out there. 2 cars involved in an incident. My wife makes the judge call there. She is track marshal. Red and white going to receive strikes. And that's going to be Jay and Bruce both getting their first strikes. Guys have been working vigorously in this series, trying to get their cars to run really, really good. We can see a really tight, compact amount of racing here. A car coming off underneath Dead Man's corner here. Looks like we missed that. It's going to be a strike there on red. Now, that's going to be Bruce's 2nd strike, so he's got 1 more here. Our final race, of course, for the evening will be the late model series race here at Lanes Raceway, and that'll be on the oval. Let's get another car coming off in the high banks, or maybe 2 cars there actually coming off. strike there for blue, their second. And a strike for orange, which will be their first. Ten seconds left to go, and we might make it through this heat without anybody wrecking out. I might have said that too soon. So we see two cars coming off here. Two cars, three cars coming off. White, orange, and red. Red's out. And orange and white both have two strikes. So Nathaniel and Jay probably going to slow her down. Also Gunner going to slow her down for the rest of the heat most likely. Just to make sure they can get through. 4 seconds left in the heat. And a red flag rotation. Heading over to the strikes. We're going to go ahead and clear those out. Take a quick look here at the track mate. We can see Randy Kirtley out in the lead in fashion of the previous race here on the orange track. 35 total laps there on yellow. 34 for Glenn Burden in second position. He's got a screamer this weekend. Nathaniel Burden 33, 32 for Gunner, 32 for Jay, and 26 for Bruce. Leave her here on Cam 2. We'll be back with you just here shortly after the break. All right, here we go. 4 red lights dropping out to green as we're rolling into round robin 2 of 8. Randy Kirtley currently your leader. If you like what you see here at Lanes Raceway and you want to join in on the action, give us a call, 270-278-1400, and we'll get you set up in a class, whether it be a rookie class or one of the Pro Series. Get up there for some of them points. Every Pro Series they run for $1,000 and a big check for first place. We also have banquets where we get the meals that the guys want. So definitely come and join in on the action. You know, of course, winter time, definitely the time to come in, as that's whenever slot car racing really picks up. And here we are right now, not yet halfway. I think maybe today might be halfway, possibly. Not yet halfway, I don't think, through this series. Now coming up next will be our main prestigious series, the Four Crowns. And everybody wants to get in on the Four Crown action. Last year we ran for, I believe it was $6 grand. So let's see if we can break that rule and go a little bit higher this series. I think we might have 3 sponsors so far, looking for a 4th. If you're interested in that, to sponsor the whole series for the year, that class will be named after you. So definitely want to check that out. If you're interested, that's going to be a strike there on green lane. But nonetheless, the Four Crowns isn't going to start until later on in November. Hopefully we'll have the new Lanes Raceway tracks set up and ready to go by then. Of course, going to be really busy here in just the next couple of weeks here at Lanes Raceway, trying our best to get this stuff started and rolling as fast as possible. But if you like what you see, like, share, subscribe also. That helps us out. Boost us up on the algorithm. Maybe one of these days we can get some funding coming in for the Lanes Raceway. We take that money and then give it to the racers. Red, green, and blue. Gonna take strikes. We do have a good time down here. The guys do take it as serious as they possibly can. Always trying to learn new things. Let's get a car off there in the horseshoe portion of the track. A lot of wrecks this heat. Let's see, another strike here. Can't tell exactly whose car this is. Looks like that might be Gunner's. Just, yep, Gunner's there on purple. Going to receive his 2nd strike there. So right now, Bruce and Gunner, both 2 strikes. They better watch it. They got a lot of racing left to go here. We'll see if they can make it the rest of the heat here. 1:09, halfway about. Randy Kirtley and Glenn Burton tied up. Glenn Burton's got his car running and humming. Nathaniel Burton right there nipping on Glenn's heels as he's got his rolling pretty good too. Jay Latham there, 48 laps. He's in the mix also, and so is Gunner with 48 laps. Bruce Bullen's in there, 43. Really, guys, it's anybody's ball game still yet here as we round about round robin 2 of 8 as we get a track call press here. Head over to the bridge. I see Randy Kirtley's there for sure, so he's going to receive a strike. And then green lane, that'll be Green's 3rd. So green will be coming off, but Randy Kirtley's going to survive. As Randy Kirtley takes a look here at the track on orange, he's got something in his hand. I don't know what it is. It might have been that pin from earlier. We also see Glenn Burton coming down there to take a look. Was going to have a live stream this past week, the 24-hour Lemons. I couldn't get the 12-volt system to work. My brother couldn't, so the high heat is an issue inside those cars, in real race cars. So he's going to get that stuff figured out. I think he's going to use some AI technology, going to have several cams working simultaneously. It's going to be a beautiful thing when we get that going. We're actually going to go on tour, and we'll commentate it, of course, here at the shop at Lanes Raceway. But we'll keep track of all the Lemons racers, and we'll be able to watch those guys and compare them with the old chicken truck. So we're pretty excited about that. I think it's going to be quite fun. We did a little bit of it last year. Didn't really have a whole lot of luck with it because we were using a cell phone. It got overheated and disconnected. A lot of things went awry. So red and white going to receive a strike there. Now that's red's 2nd strike, white's 1st. So hopefully he'll get that fixed up in true fashion here shortly. And if he does, we'll be able to go to Barber and all these different racetracks with him. Now, of course, this isn't like the Porsche series or nothing, but it's kind of cool that there's a car out there representing Lanes Raceway and a few of our friends in the local community. So that's pretty cool, and I hope you guys tune in and watch that. Of course, my brother Gabriel, who is part owner, 50% owner of Lanes Raceway, he's one of the drivers. And the funny thing is, I just heard over the weekend that he actually beat professional racers. Now, of course, I guess you can consider him a professional racer, though, as he's raced dirt his whole life. Trying to see who all came off here. We got 5 seconds left in the heat. Maybe both those cars are coming off. Looks like it. Looks like both of them got 3 strikes. I didn't see which cars they was. But nonetheless, my brother may be a dirt racer, racing asphalt now. But nonetheless, he was able to accomplish that, which is pretty cool. So we get another track call button here. Somebody's car come off. Let's see who this is. They might have 3 too. Blue lane. That'll be Glenn's 2nd. So he's still in there. Glenn Burton's car really smooth, folks. I did a little work on that car earlier this week. Glenn, he's been hard at it working on it. My wife there behind me. You see Glenn there in the, I guess, right over here on the right side of me here. Let's head over here to the strikes here, clear those out. I don't know if you guys noticed a while ago, but I was able to get the YouTube chat working. I don't know if it actually works or not, but we'll check in here from time to time. The tools just gave me an update, and I was able to update it on the fly, so hopefully that all works out. Maybe we'll be back online yet again. Heading over to the track mate, though, 69-69, Randy and Glenn battling it out. 64 top three, Nathaniel Burton. 63 Gunner, 61 Jay, Bruce, 44. So still anybody's ball game here, folks. We head over to the oval. We can see some of the GRC guys there probably fixing to get back into another heat here. Some of the cars are on. Some of them still have their sticker plaques there, like that one there on blue at the start finish line. They'll get their stuff set up, get it roaring back in there. FCR is definitely something fun for the whole family. You can come in here for $80, get you a car. We got rental controllers so you can afford a really nice controller. And we don't charge you anything for that as long as you're racing. Come in, do you a good old race, $10. We're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Looking to open up another day when we move into the big track, because we got some special things going on Tuesdays that we're planning. So that's going to be pretty exciting. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do here if you're looking for a good hobby to get into this winter. Like I said, we always run the Rookie Series here at Lanes Raceway every Sunday. So the Rookie Series just consists of a GRC 4.5-inch chassis here running stock gear ratio, tires up to 1 inch, all Mid-America stuff. And of course, Mid-America, if you guys haven't been paying attention, they have been coming out with some goodies, folks. And of course, I've actually talked to Roger up there, and he's got more stuff coming. Of course, he can't parlay that stuff to me and let me know. Other than us being a dealer for Mid-America, we're not affiliated. So, I mean, but I'll just tell you, his motors are really good. I like his, we call them throwaway motors here, Eagle motors, Stomp motors and stuff. They're just way better than what I had back in the day when I was a kid. You know, when I was a kid, we had the Super 16Ds, and we had, you know, the Pro Slot motors that were really chunky, strip gears out and everything else. So these new motors that they just have, I mean, they work good. You know, you may not get the fastest motor out of the bunch, but they're typically very close. As you guys can see, that's what these guys are running, and nobody's really running off and leaving anybody. It's really close racing, all boils down to the wrecks in the end, and that's what I like. Good close racing here, and professional attitudes here by all the racers for sure. As we go into this round robin 3 of 8, if you like what you're seeing, like, share, subscribe, and all that. If you want to comment in the comment section, of course. All this stuff helps us to get a little bit higher up on the algorithms. Now, we have been growing a little bit. Of course, we would always like to see thousands of people watch our video, but I get tickled when we get over 100 for sure, and I know all our racers do too. It's been a long time coming. Of course, I remember back in the days whenever we would only get 2 to maybe 3 views. So seeing 100 up there, you know, the guys really enjoy that, and I love seeing my guys happy. So anything I can do to keep my racers happy, we are going to try our best to do that here at Lanes Raceway. As we see one car coming off there in the horseshoe portion of the track. Let's see, my wife rang out around here, and they're going to get a strike. That's going to be purple lane, so it'll be Glenn Burton taking his first strike. Glenn Burton's car has definitely been rolling hard. So he's only 1 lap different from Randy Kirtley here. Glenn Burton loves the purple and black lane, but I would say black lane is definitely his strong suit. That's what he likes the most. Now, of course, Gunnar Bender there now in 3rd position there. Nathaniel Burton fighting with everything he's got in a very fast car. Nathaniel's got there on red too. That baby's humming on the new set of meats he just bought here at Lanes Raceway. All of these guys, for the most part, are members, and memberships, of course, make the world go round here at Lanes Raceway. You want to become a member here, memberships are awesome. You can enter up to 10 cars in drag racing when we do our drag racing for free. You can get into every single series race for free. Track time is free, too, to all of our members. So a very good deal, especially if you plan on being here quite a bit. You can save a lot, and I do mean a lot of money by being a member. So we go over here, we check the strikes, looks like black's going to take a strike there. They're first. And just like I said, guys, you know, these guys are running for a $1,000 purse here. First place gets half of that and a big check. And then, you know, they get a shirt too if they keep their membership throughout the series of whatever series that they're in. So right now we're in the fall series. Haven't yet designed a fall series t-shirt. But I'll tell you what, man, these shirts are high quality. You can ask the guys. They last a long time. And the latest version, the one like what Jay Latham's got there on next to Bruce there in the blue shirt, exceptional quality. I mean, real thick, just epoxy style shirts here. I mean, robust for sure. And they got really good colors that don't bleed. So we're always trying to give them the best that we can give with whatever we can give. That's going to be a strike there on red for Nathaniel, his first. And we're always trying to find new things that we can do to help the guys. So coming into the new Lanes Raceway, there's a vault, limited positions. And in this vault, you'll be able to lock your stuff up. Now, it's all going to be AI controlled. It'll be able to scan your face, unlock the door. You'll be able to get your stuff. And we even got a thing to where that eventually we're going to have cameras set up so that like whenever you use the restroom, there'll be a camera set up on all your stuff where you're sitting inside your booth and everything, so you can always keep an eye on your stuff as a vault member. So the vault's definitely going to be an awesome addition for sure. So we're seeing green receiving a strike there. Of course, looting and strike, he's just getting pushed up. 13 seconds left in the heat, and this has been a pretty uneventful heat other than like people just racing really close together. Like I said, the 72 pitch definitely helps these guys when handling their cars. As we're going to see a strike here on black lane. That'll be their second. But I'm super excited. My wife's super excited about getting down there. I got a picture on my phone, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys. You know, I want to wait until we get some tracks in there, get them put together, piece together, maybe not fully put together, but before we get all that, get some TVs down there and make it look really nice before I give you guys a really good updated picture. But just know the work is being done. It's really moving on. I'm hoping tomorrow will be the day that they get the floor completely done. Maybe, maybe not. We have got a battle yet again. Randy Kirtley and Glenn Burden, 103. Both of them battling it out. Of course, Glenn Burden very strong down low there. 34 laps there on purple. Not Glenn's best, though, as he's turned 35 on blue currently today. That is the most laps turned. Nathaniel Burden there in third place with 96 laps tied up with Gunner. There's another battle pursuing. But Jay Latham's just one lap different from that, so Jay's even in the mix to battle out for who's going to get that third position so far. Bruce Bulletin 78 laps, still trying to get his feet wet, trying to understand some things going on. Head over here to the iRacing. We see our main screen here, high banks up there. Kind of see a little bit of the track mate and the strike system. Also, we use Epidemic Sound. You can see that right below the iRacing emblem. Fairview IT Management Cup Series, one of our series crowns that's going on to the 4 crowns in our chat. Nothing in there, of course. We've been down on chat for a while, so I wouldn't be surprised if nobody gets in on the chat. But if you ever want to get in and kind of chat, hopefully it's working. I don't know. I don't know how the streamers do it, how they find this one all be all capability to add their Twitch, their Facebook, and their YouTube and keep it working consistently. I got all the updates. It's hit or miss if it works. So if I catch you, we'll comment on whatever you say. If not, thank you for joining anyway. Minute and 8 seconds before we go back green racing. I'm going to leave you here on the GRC racing here. Looks like they're down to 2. Maybe somebody having an issue there. And we'll be right back with you. All right, folks, here we go. About to see 4 red lights drop out to green as we're halfway through this right now in round robin 4 of 8. Randy Kirtley is your leader still on the orange track. As we see a cluster of guys, the individuals going through the horseshoe, something had to give. As we see Gunner's car coming off there. Gunner's going to receive a strike there on yellow lane. Randy Kirtley coming around, taking a look at the old car. Several of these guys running different flexi chassis. We don't have like a real strong rule here at Lanes Raceway when it comes to 4-inch flexi chassis. We ran an LMP lockdown chassis with weight restrictions so that everybody would be equal one time. And then midway through, we just kind of ran an experiment race, which we like to do, and found out that there really wasn't much difference whether they were super light. If they were super light, it's like they didn't handle. And if they were super heavy, it was like they handled really good but didn't have a lot of top speed. And it kind of equaled itself out on this track at least. So we just let you run whatever 4-inch flexi chassis you want as long as you stay within the motor rules and the gear rules, of course. So like I said, these guys run pretty tight, as you can tell, and we may have some Mazzettis out there. We got some Cheetah 11s. We got, of course, some of the great Gemini chassis here. Now that's going to be a strike there for blue. And I love the Gemini chassis. It's a very fast chassis for sure. I love the Cheetah 11 chassis too. The 3-pan Cheetah 11 chassis is excellent. See a car coming off in the horseshoe. I wasn't quick enough on the clicker to get around there. Randy Kirtley in the lead though. Glenn Burden in second. Nathaniel Burden in third right now. So you add a strike to Glenn Burden there, his first. Like I said, Glenn Burden very fast, usually on black lane. So if he keeps his car in here, he'll probably be the guy to beat on black lane. But it looks like he's just driving her just a little deep there in dead man's corner. And so he's going to get his second strike here. So now he's got to put the caution lights on for sure. And try to save this baby. He is at 112 right now. Best lap of 3.403. Best lap, of course, right now, 3.268 from Jay Latham. Exceptionally quick. Jay Latham, of course, coming back with a fury this week. In the first race, having a very fast car. Now back in the second race, having a very fast car. He is the J of old, back of the days. The king of Lanes Raceway as he's getting himself prepared here, coming up for the 4 crowns. Jay Latham has to fend off all of those would-be kings. And let's see if he can do that. Of course, this season in our second annual 4 crowns here at Lanes Raceway. He is currently the king of Lanes Raceway. About where this camera's at is his big, huge picture here, about the size of a human body. So it's a very huge picture. You can't miss it when you walk through the door. And every time Jay comes in, we always acknowledge him as king of Lanes Raceway. So we're like, hello, king. And he gets a kick out of it. Jay definitely has a nice sense of humor for sure. And we like to poke around and have fun, especially with Jay and Jackson and a couple of the other guys who are very lighthearted. We got some really good racing going on here. Everybody very smooth behind the triggers here as we see Randy Kirtley losing to about 3 laps, or gaining about 3 laps there on Glenn Burden from the Rex. So we see a hard hit take place. I heard it. So we get a red flag rotation, I think, but I'm not for sure. We see 2 cars over there in the donut portion of the track. But what a long stint there. As we see yellow there, we're going to receive a strike. And the other car, I think, was Glenn Burden. Nonetheless, Glenn Burden there running 3.378, 32 total laps there on black, of course, wrecking out there right at the end. And that will end that round robin. We're going to go ahead and clear the strikes. And we're going to look at the track mate here. So Glenn Burden turning 32. That's kind of out of the normal for Glenn. We used to see him up on top there on the black lane, but he did run an exceptional purple lane at 34. Randy Kirtley in the lead, 138, 135 for Glenn Burden there in second. Nathaniel Burden, 131 in third. Jay Latham, 130 in fourth. Gunnar Vender there, 128 in fifth. And Bruce Mullington, 111. So a very close battle for that second place position. If Glenn keeps this up, he'll be able to hang on to that second position. But Nathaniel and Jay definitely want their piece of pie, and so does Gunner. So we'll see how this ends up shaping up. But we are midway through right now as we head over to the Oval and just watch some of the rookie series take place here. Like I said, we got one car down in this series. Right now we're looking at Cole and Brian battling it out. It looks like maybe Morgan might have retired for the evening in her car, but we'll see. Nonetheless, a minute and 41 seconds. We'll be right back with you. All right, just messing around with the guys a little bit here as we get transferred back over to the orange here. And I was talking to Jay and Glenn and Randy, also known as my dad. I guess I better use his name. He is a professional racer. Nonetheless, talking to him about the reason racing so good must be because of the new soap in the men's bathroom, that coffee whiskey soap. I don't know who makes it, but man, it smells good. It smells like a cappuccino of some sort. Nonetheless, very, very nice. Keep you awake. Coffee will. So we see two cars there. I don't think she's seen the one on the inside wall there. Nonetheless, looks like Ryan might have. She brings the cars around here. We're going to see two more strikes taking place here. A minute 57 seconds, only 3 seconds in. We'll see our first couple strikes. Black and purple receiving them. That's Jay and Bruce. When Jay and Bruce get around each other, guys, I'm telling you, it's a recipe for disaster. They always bumping and banging on each other. It's kind of like how Glenn and Nathaniel used to be back in the OG days when we first opened the place. It's kind of funny. Can't really see a good view there. But we got what looks to be another strike here for Bruce there on black. Let's see if Bruce can reel her in. He's got a minute and 50 seconds. He's just going to have to take his time. Bruce and Jay, of course, cutting up there. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go. Bruce letting Jay go on by. Black lane's definitely a tough lane. Arguably, people would say that the black lane is the toughest lane on the orange track. Now, in my personal opinion, I love black lane. That's my favorite lane. I love that little sharp turn coming right off the back stretch there and getting a really good jolt on people. And plus, you can let it hang out around the donut. But red lane would have to be my Achilles heel for sure. The donut is a very, very tight corner, and I'm not a big fan of it, actually. But I've tried them all. See my wife, we're rolling around there with a couple cars in hand. Looks like there might be one under Dead Man's Corner even. Right now, as it states, Randy Clertley 149, 145 for Glenn Burden, and Nathaniel Burden 141. Jay Latham 140. He's creeping on the come up, as they say. Wife giving a little bit of room there. Yellow going to receive a strike. And it looks like Bruce striked out there. So we'll see Bruce next heat here. Bruce not having the best of weekends this weekend. Sometimes Bruce comes in. He does a lot of experimenting. So sometimes he'll come in. He's like Jay today, where he's just blistering and going hard and has a car that runs good and everything else. Then other times he comes in and, the experiments don't go as planned, I guess you would say. But nonetheless, he's learning stuff every time he does it. It's like I've been trying to tell the kids, it's not a bad thing to fail. It's actually a good thing. every time you fail, that's just something that you know you can put in the bank and say, hey, that don't work. Let's try something different. You know, not always the easiest thing to do that, but you know, because you don't ever want to be wrong. I mean, that's just like against your nature, I guess. Nobody likes being wrong, but if you can fight that feeling of it being bad, like a bad feeling, man, you can go so far with that and almost be unstoppable. See Bruce Fullington grabbing a car there in the donut portion of the track, handing it over to T, bringing it around. This one looks like it might be Jay in the strike here on purple. So it was Jay receiving his second strike, so he's going to have to tone her down a little bit too. That's his second strike, and he's tied up with Nathaniel Burden. Purple lane seemed to be a little tough for Jay's car there, but Jay has an extremely fast car, especially through the donut and the S portions of the track. So he's just going to have to keep some focus there on that brake and maybe let her brake a little early just so he knows he can make it through. 36 seconds left to go in this heat. And we'll see a change of rotation maybe in the next heat. Jay can push it a little bit harder and see what he can do there about keeping it a little bit tighter. We'll see Jay now actually lowering some of his median times and stuff just to keep his car on, but he's tied right up median-wise with Nathaniel there on blue lane, a more moderate lane, easier to drive, I guess you would say. Most people love riding on orange and blue lane. Orange, of course, the qualifying lane for slot car tracks. Nonetheless, seeing these guys battle it out this tight, we see yellow coming up, creeping on the come up, making a pass there on purple. As Jay makes a expert move, just a little bit of a blip there, letting Glenn go by. A beautiful thing to see. Pro move there. As we clear this out, we'll head over here to the track mate. Randy Kirtley in the lead, 173, 169 Glenn Burden, 165 Nathaniel Burden, 164 Jay Latham, 162 Gunnar Bender. So like I said, guys, all these guys are running different style 4-inch chassis, and you can see how close this is with those Eagle motors from Mid-America. I'll tell you, the Eagle motor, man, one of my favorite motors for sure. Easy to put in, easy to take out, and you can set the meshes really nice with them, and they line up really good with the rear axle, making that real smooth sound. Randy Kirtley, of course, he's kind of walking away a little bit here, about a lap and a half ahead of everybody else on average, turning 35 laps on green and yellow respectively. We can see Glenn Burden there turning 35 also on blue lanes, but he's right there in the mix. He's just got to push a hair bit more and hope for some luck there with Randy. Now, Randy is a machine on red and white, as you can tell, but still anybody's ball game, folks. Anything can happen. You guys know that. As we head over to the oval, we'll be right back with you just here shortly. All right, folks, you know the deal. 4 red lights dropping out to green. We're going back racing here. Round robin 6 of 8. Randy Kirtley still holding down on that lead as we see Bruce Fullington's car starting there on the start-finish line as we roll around into another one. Randy Kirtley only 4 laps ahead of Glenn Burden, so Glenn Burden definitely putting on the smoke here as he's mid-lane here with Randy Kirtley side by side. Randy Kirtley just a little bit out ahead of Glenn. We see Randy also turning some pretty respectful times here. 3.41 on the median to Glenn's 3.45. At that rate, Glenn's not going to gain anything this heat, but as long as he keeps that kind of median there, maybe Randy can get involved in an incident. Who knows what can happen here. Yellow lane there, Bruce Bullington could give the shove to Randy, and maybe we see those medians change. But right now, both of them running pretty close together there. And Nathaniel Burden there running a 3.342 best lap time and 3.46 on median. But Randy Curley got a nice little set of median action going here. As we see our first strike here, that's going to be Jay Latham on black lane. And another yellow flag, so quick. You see my wife grab that car again. Let's see who it is. That's going to be on white lane. That's going to be Gunnar Bender taking a strike. Coming up next, we got the oval action, the late model series here at Lanes Raceway. And, of course, we're down a couple guys that usually make it here. I know there's been some sicknesses going around, but we're down actually 3 dudes this week for sure. That's going to be Jackson, Bobby, and Gerald. Of course, a couple of them sick, and one of them gone hunting. So it is that time of year, folks. The crops come in, people get the hay fever. Nonetheless, I know these racers, they're die hard. They'll be back for another round here shortly. 40 seconds left to go in the heat. Randy Curley still holding it down, like I said, just within 5 laps, him and Glenn Burden. Nathaniel Burden there in the mix 2. My wife about loses a finger there on cam 2. And then she laughs about it. She got 3 cars in hand, or 2 cars going. 34 seconds left to go in the heat. We got a strike coming for yellow, a strike coming for white, and a strike coming for purple. So purple and yellow is first. Now that's white's danger zone. Danger zone for white. He's got to reel her in a little bit. That'll be Gunnar Bender having to reel her in. He's on 2 strikes here. He needs to make it through the rest of the heat. 34 seconds. These are just strategies I hope people listen to out there, whether they're slot car racers or not. But you definitely don't want to come out and end your whole race career here. You want to kind of keep it up, just keep your car on. It is tough, like I said, that white and that red lane's a tough spot to be in for sure. Of course, Gunnar, as young as he is racing with these guys. And I'll tell you what, he puts on a show a lot of times. He comes in here, him and Brian works on their cars all week long, and he gets them into the fashion that they're in. And that's why they do so well. You know, you work, you tinker, you try to figure things out, and you get it just perfect. And then that way on race day, you can let her shine, folks. And these guys definitely want that win. I'm sure they do. Randy Curley there in the lead, 209 to 204. Glenn Burden, 5 laps only separate. As we see Nathaniel Burden there just 4 laps down from Glenn. Jay just 6 laps. So, I mean, it's very tight. And then Gunnar, he's also there in the mix too. He would maybe need a little bit of help there, maybe a wreck out or something. Bruce Bullington there, 151 total laps hanging in there. We'll head over to the oval. Doesn't look like we're seeing much race. Looks like we're almost in that off and on kind of stage between when our guys are off, so is the other guys. So, nonetheless, a lot of good racing here. Let's check back on the iRacing. No chat so far, to be expected, by the way. So we've been down chat-wise for months, and it's pretty cool that we finally got an update. So maybe from here on out, we might have a live chat, I'm hoping. We just updated this and the video card just a couple weeks ago. There goes Gunnar, Trigger Man himself. He's going to work on his car. Head back over here to the high banks. We'll wait on him here a minute, 36 seconds. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on here at Lanes Raceway. A lot of stress for those, myself included, trying to get all this stuff rolling. My brother, of course, trying to get the stuff rolling on the building side of things. But we're making it. We're making it happen. Things are fixing to happen and take place all at once, it seems. And I think we got some exciting news coming about different series starting. I think I got to get in contact with the WOMP guys, talk to them a few times. I've got to go ahead from the other owner that we're going to go ahead and try to get in the WOMP series. And then there's another series too, the Flexi Challenge series that we've seen some interest in. And I think we're going to try to get that going on too. But it's just been so hectic with trying to get stuff set up for that, trying to get everything in order for the 4 crowns, and then also trying to run a series, the fall series, simultaneously, while trying to get floors and walls and ceilings painted. You can get the gist of how hectic it can be day to day. There's like no days off, really. But that's fine, because once it all gets done, once everything happens, you know, my racers are going to be ecstatic. They're going to be happy. They're going to have breathing room. They're going to have probably their own table, who knows, at least at the very beginning until things pick up a little bit. But excited that all that stuff's happening. We're moving on. 10 seconds before we start this race. I'm excited about the ending of this race. Round robin 7 of 8, and you know anything can happen in that final heat. Anything can happen in this heat. So let's get her underway. 4 red lights dropping out to green. The strike board's been cleared. Randy Kirtley is still hanging on to the lead there as he gets his controller hung up on him there a little bit. Let's see how far we can take this. Right now, median's rolling in. As you see, the best median right now is a 3.41. And that is ran by Jay Latham. Jay Latham there, of course, been strong all race long. And he's moving up in the world. We're going to see if he can catch Nathaniel here. 204 to 206. We're seeing 6 laps and 7 laps respectively from all these racers. Everybody just gaining about a car length or so each time as we get our first track call here. Looking at Cam 2, looks like everybody's on. Orange lane on the receiver strike. Bruce Bullington, his first. Like I said, having a little bit of trouble there with his car this week. But I know Bruce, he'll get it figured out. He'll have back up in the air running hard and fast as he usually does. Bruce, of course, a force to be reckoned with on the oval. And, of course, he is going to be in the oval race coming up next, so that's exciting to see that. My wife rolling around the track there to get the car. Let's see who it is. And it is Red Lane on the receiver strike here. Best lap time right now is still Jay Latham, 3.244. He's got that car humming, folks. He must have got him a really lucky draw there on motor for sure. But that thing is humming. It's hooking to the track. Whatever he's done in this past week, just like he sent a text message, he was coming for him. He legitimately is coming for him, folks. See another car coming off here. My wife there driving the car. That looks to be another strike there on Gunner on Red Lane. That's his second. He's going to have to dial her back. Something going on here as we see Brian coming into the shop. Try to tighten something up. Yeah. Looks like maybe a gear issue here. A little slop in the gear possibly. Now we do see Bruce Bullington's car there with a little bit of drag there in the back side of the car. He's going to need to be lifted up a little bit there in the high banks probably. We see Bruce coming around there probably to fix that problem right now. And boom, there you go. Just like that. You set that rear tire right there in the slot like Bruce did, it won't lay back down. So Bruce knows the tricks. He knows the tricks as he just gives her an extra finger of pressure there to make sure she's setting. Been a good race, as you guys can tell here. Gunner 209, 215, 216, 220. Now Gunner and Bruce there having a little bit of rough luck here in this race, but we see Jay, Nathaniel, and Glenn battling for those top 3 positions here. Very, very tight racing between these two, or these 3 guys. Randy Kirtley there, of course. He's within reach, but, you know, they're going to need to see him wreck a few times for sure. And that's unlikely because Randy Kirtley knows how to race a slot car, especially on the orange track here. It looks like Bruce's car rolled on back down. So we see Nathaniel helping him out there. Nathaniel there with the Summer Series shirt. Pink dot shirt. Pink dots, those are going to come into play here very shortly right before we start the 4 crowns. That's what those pink dots are for. So if you was able to get one, and Bronny, if you're out there watching, I was able to see that you did get a pink dot. That was my fault. I forgot about it. We had a 4th of July race. Whoever won that race, and it was, of course, Bronny, was eligible to get a pink dot. So he did get a pink dot. I'm sorry I told you wrong there. See a car coming off here. We'll see who it is. But nonetheless, there's going to be a little auction take place before the 4 crowns starts, and these are special abilities during the 4 crowns in this series. And you know, it's going to help somebody you can sell the pink dots to. I'd say they're probably worth about 80 or 90 bucks a piece. And it was just a little extra thing. If you raced in the summer series and you won a race, you got a pink dot on your car. Then if you won with the pink dot on your car, you received a pink dot, and we wrote it in the book. And like I said, this special ability is going to happen. I guess I can let you know one of them before we start. So like on a race weekend in the 4 crowns, there is no 30-second timer for you. So if you come off and you need to fix your car or whatever, or motor pops out or whatever, if you use that pink dot to purchase that, they'll have to wait on you. So, you know, just little things like that. And it could mean the world of difference, you know. It could mean a lot of things for those racers. And just a little bit of an advantage there to get them a couple more laps in a race weekend. You just never know. It could mean the whole difference between being the king or being not the king. So 5 seconds left to go in this heat. And we're going to see Randy Kirtley still hang on to that lead here with 244 total laps. We're going to go over to the strikes and clear those out. And we'll look here at the track mate. Randy Kirtley, 244 total laps. 237, Glenn Burden. 234, Jay Latham. 232, Nathaniel Burden. And then we're kind of seeing a little bit of separation here. Gunnar Bender, 225, and 184, Bruce Morton. Neither one of these guys really having the weekend that they want to have. But nonetheless, very, very strong racers indeed. So we head over here to the oval yet again, Barron, as we see the racers coming off there. Their race actually might be over with. So we'll leave her on cam 2. We'll be back with you for the final round robin heat coming up next. Here we go. 4 red lights dropping out to a green, folks. Final heat. Round robin 8 of 8. Randy Kirtley currently in the lead in a battle for the top 3 positions here for sure. So see our first wreck take place. Coming up next, the late model series on the oval. A lot of guys excited for that for sure. See Glenn Burton rolling around here, and that's going to be a strike on orange. Jay Latham is first. Everybody taking a look at the track here. So I was telling Jackson last week, I said, hey man, you know, he likes during the breaks to come and talk to me and stuff, and that's fine. He's my racer, I guess you would say. So I'll work on his car for him for free here at Lanes Raceway. He's Lanes Raceway's kid this year, and so we work on his stuff, like the minor work and stuff, for free. Now if it's major work, he's going to pay for it like anybody else, because I'm not going to spend 6 or 7 hours for free. But nonetheless, we work on his car, try to get him shaped up and everything. That's why I told him, I said, hey, when you go out there, you need to be checking that track alongside you, cleaning your stuff and making sure your oil's up in the bushings and stuff. You need to make sure that the track's not rolled up. If it is, you need to get the roller and roll it down, because, you know, just from the previous heat, somebody could have rolled up the braid a little bit. It could have took a hit from a wreck or whatever, and that'll cause you a strike. You know, that'll cause your car to come off. So trying to get him to focus in on things like that, I think, will be the best thing for him to progress as a racer and be the best racer he can possibly be. Of course, he did bring home the summer series here, last series, so he's doing pretty good. He's kind of relaxed a little bit just previously in this series, so we'll see a strike there on green, their first strike. Of course, Gunner, if he sticks it out, he's definitely going to be a high vote. Of course, me and my wife, we make the decision on who the kid's going to be for Lanes Raceway. Tom Payton, of course, our first kid, the very first year we were open. And then coming into the second year, of course, Jackson Darty, our second kid. And we'll be having our third kid here shortly. So Gunner is definitely high up on the hog for sure. But he really doesn't need a whole lot of teaching, really. He's doing quite well. Green and yellow. Going to take strikes. I say that. This is one of the heats that he's actually got 2 strikes on. But nonetheless, if you guys have been watching this long enough, you know Gunner, he's a front runner for sure, running up there with the boys, and his dad, Brian, definitely puts in a lot of work on his cars. And Gunner, he's actually won a rookie series here. He got himself a big old box and stuff here at Lanes Raceway. And he's placed in the top 3, so we'll see how well he does this series. This one right here, Mike just ended his race as we see him and what looks to be Bruce Bullington. Bruce Bullington's first. 3 for that one, 3 for green. So he's going to be having to set out the remainder of the race here. 1 minute and a second, 4 seconds left to go. And yes, I know, I'll probably hear it if people are in the chat. Every time you talk good about somebody in the chat, it's like you jinx them, and I know it. I can't help it. I try to limit myself, but you know, of course, Bruce's daughter brought that to my attention. It's been a year or so ago, but every time I talk about people in the race, it's like I jinx them. I can't help it. I like talking good about my racers, and then when I do, you know, they have a bad heat or whatever it may be. 51 seconds left in the heat. Lynn Burden and Jay Latham, just 2 laps separating these guys, battling for second position. 2 laps separating Jay from Nathaniel there in third position. But Lynn Burden running an exceptional race here today, really keeping it close with Randy. The few times that he did wreck is what cost him, folks, or they would be a battle for first right now, as both of these guys' medians were pretty matched up all along the race. Maybe a couple hundreds of difference separating the 2. That would be it. As you can see, the yellow and the orange there, Jay and Nathaniel both going down the backstretch at the same pace. One of them running, I believe, a Gemini, and one of them running a Mazzetti chassis. So, like I said, not a whole lot of difference here, even though there's grams difference. But at least at our racetrack, not a lot of difference. Now, maybe if we went to a professional one, you know, like, man, I can't believe you're doing that there. But, you know, some of the professionals, they know some stuff that we don't know. I guess you would say we're kind of amateurs here, but we like to talk like we're professionals. We like to have a good time, for sure. Anyways, we're going to clear this stuff out. Go over to the track mate for the final time. Randy Kirtley going to bring home the win. 280 total laps. 271 for Glenn Burden. What a showing for Glenn. Jay Latham, 267. He was right there on his heels. A couple wrecks here and there cost him. And he dropped back a little bit off of Glenn, but definitely a good car that Jay's got built there, running some really fast times. 36 total laps there on yellow lane. That is a tie for the most laps ran, with Randy Kirtley running 36 on blue and black. Last week, of course, Glenn Burden running the most laps. Nathaniel Burden there, 266 total laps there. He's moderately right there with the guys, just needing to increase just a little bit more time there to gain just what he needs to gain that extra lap or so. Gunnar Bender there, car not in the best shape here. We see a wreck out there on green lane, really cost him there. But he's running right there on averages of 32 to 33 laps, best lap of 34. Bruce Bulletin, of course, not having the best of luck here this evening in this class, with only 8 laps there on black, costing him quite a bit. Nonetheless, that's all we have for the 72 pitch this week. Come back next week. It's always on the orange. It'll be our only orange race come next week because the IndyCar is going to be on the oval, and so is the late model series. And speaking of the late model series, that's coming up next. So thank you guys for tuning in to the 72 pitch race this week. If you made it this far, like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. The shares are great. I love it when you guys share and you talk about Lanes Raceway, and so do our guys. Our guys are always talking about how much people are watching them and stuff, and you know, it's just, it makes them feel good, and I like making my racers feel good. Nonetheless, keep us in your minds, keep us in your prayers. Thank you guys, God bless you, and we'll see you here coming up next for the late model series, our final